Hey guys, this video is going to be the childhood book tag. First question is, what were your favorite books read to you as a child and why? But as it says books read to you, as in like before you could read, and I used to have books read to me all the time. I had so many books, but none of them really stick out as favorites. The first favorite book I can remember ever having would have been Harry Potter, but I read that on my own. Some of the books I know I had is I used to have like song books where you like pushed the button and it made noise. I remember really liking those. And I know I read Bernstein Bear books, Disney books. I'm pretty sure we still have a lot of them too, because they got passed down to like my sister and my brother, and I think we still have quite a few of them, but I can't really remember what any of them were. There were Dr. Seuss books. Second question is, do you have any special memories or traditions associated with these books? Apparently, and I can't remember this, but my grandma Keller used to babysit me, and I had this like plastic wagon that I would apparently fill up with books every morning, and I would make her read all of the books in the wagon to me before she left that day. And apparently I filled the wagon like so full that books would be like falling over as I tried to like pull the wagon around the house. But I obviously can't remember that. But that's what I've been told. And again, a little bit later, going back to Harry Potter, one thing I remember about Harry Potter is when I was a kid, I used to be absolutely terrified of thunderstorms. And for a while, like, I would try my hardest to go to sleep during thunderstorms, and I was so scared. It never worked, but I'd like put a ton of blankets over my head and pillows over my head and plug my ears and so I wouldn't have to hear the thunder, and like I'd cover my eyes so I wouldn't have to see the lightning, and it never worked. And my grandma would try playing, my grandma Am's, different grandma from who I was talking about before, would like try to like pray with us, like pray the rosary, but like nothing ever worked. And so one day we were having severe weather and I was freaked out, so I got a Harry Potter book and I read like a random line and made my sister guess which character said the line. And my sister's not as into Harry Potter as I am, and by that I mean she's not really into Harry Potter at all. But we used to do that. We did that for at least a couple of years. During severe weather, I would always make her play that game with me, like where I read a line, she guessed who it was, and then we'd like trade, because it helped keep our mind off the fact that there was severe weather, and that used to terrify me. And the third question is, what were your favorite books or series when you were old enough to read, and why? Harry Potter and Little House on the Prairie definitely top this. I don't really know why. I became a Harry Potter fan when I saw the first movie when I was like 8, I think. And I saw the first movie before I read the books. I just fell in love with them. I don't know. And then when I was 11, I found the internet and the fandom on the internet, and that just kind of like made things even bigger. And as for Little House, one of my friends who I haven't seen in like years, but well, I've kind of seen her anyway. I haven't talked to her in like years, and she recommended Little House books to me, and so I got one of them from the library and then ended up buying all of them and just fell in love with it. Fell in love with the TV series too. Number 4, what was your favorite book character in these? Hermione Granger definitely tops that list, always. Number 5, what was your favorite book in a childhood series? As far as Harry Potter goes, it's changed over the years. I think Deathly Hallows, I tend to like the last books in a series just because I like seeing how things are wrapped up. Prisoner of Azkaban is a really, really close second as far as Harry Potter goes, but I think Deathly Hallows is my favorite, just because of like the emotion and it being the end and everything. And then for Little House, These Happy Golden Years has always been my favorite because it's the one where Laura and Alonzo get married, and I was seriously waiting for that like the entire series. I just really wanted them to get married, so that made me happy. 6, did you ever dress up like one of the characters? Yes, I was Hermione for Halloween one year, as is basically you have to be, if you're a Harry Potter fan from a young age, you pretty much have to have dressed up as one of the characters for Halloween. But I dressed up as Hermione for Halloween one year, and then like the next year or the year after next, thing like that. I wanted to use the costume again, but I didn't want to be Hermione again, so I didn't want to be the same one twice. So I wore the Hogwarts robes and said that I was being Lavender Brown, but of course no one, I was like 9 or 10 years old probably, and no one knew who Lavender Brown was, so everyone saw the Hogwarts robes, was immediately like, oh my god, you're Hermione, and I had corrected them so many times, like I kept telling them, no, I'm Lavender, and like everyone would be like, who's that? But yeah, so I dressed up as Hermione and Lavender, technically. 7. Was there a movie adaptation of one of your childhood favorites? Obviously the Harry Potter movies, then there was Little House has had several adaptations. I now have the entire series. I got the last that I didn't have over Christmas, so I have the entire TV series for Little House, but that wasn't a movie. But I have all of that, and I love it, and I love the Harry Potter movies. Obviously not as good as the book, but I love them still. And I want to see the other Little House adaptations. I've seen a little bit of another I think it was like a TV movie that I've seen a bit of as far as like Little House goes, but I want to see like all of them basically. But I've seen pretty much the entire TV series that like everyone's heard of. I've seen the large majority of it, but I haven't seen every single episode. I'm in the process of going through all the DVDs that I now own and like watching it all, because I've only ever seen it like out of order and stuff, and I've managed to pick up on most of it but not all of it. And then I want to go through and find like all of the adaptations and try to find them so I can like watch all of them. As for like other books, obviously Dr. Seuss has adaptations. I've seen most of the Dr. Seuss books, film versions, but not all. I really, really, really want to I really, really, really want to see the Lorax. I've wanted to see it since it was out in theaters, and I haven't yet, but I really want to. I'm trying to think what other books I liked that have become movies, but Winnie the Pooh movies, I don't know, there's a Bernstein Bears TV show, which I watched a little bit of, but by the time I saw that, I was too old to really appreciate the TV show. 8. Have you read any of these books as an adult or teen and loved them? I reread Harry Potter all the time. I have one of the books. I have Deathly Hallows with me at school. I reread Little House occasionally, not quite as often, but I still love them. Little House is very, like, written very simply, but it's still, like, a really good book, you know, if that makes sense. But I don't think I have any of them with me at school. I don't know why I've even bothered to say anything. I don't think I've read any of the old picture books that I used to read since, like, this one time where I got sick from school in, like, middle school, I think, and I went into my brother's room and read a bunch of old picture books. But I don't think I've, like, picked up any of those books since then. And, I don't know. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot Junie B. Jones. I used to love Junie B. Jones books, too. Random thought. But most of the books I read as a kid, I don't really read anymore, except for Harry Potter and Little House.